summit has as its subtitle, Advancing Clean Growth for Sustainability. And I think we'll see, as over the last 4 years of the Business Summit, while policy continues to be something that is perhaps one of the most important drivers in advancing the cause of climate business, low carbon business, call it what you will, we're seeing that perhaps in the absence of a global deal, and despite the optimism that was generated at the Cancun Climate Summit last year, it's unlikely that an international agreement will come into place anytime soon. It is businesses, it's local governments, it's provincial governments that are really driving forward change, and we'll hear a lot of those experiences today.
那么中国政府呢，在上一个5年计划，以及在今天的新的“12+5”规划当中，在促进低碳发展方面，正在采取着一系列的行动。我想，首先一个呢，就是国家在这方面呢制定发展的战略、发展的规划，提出更加明确的战略的目标。我想这一点呢，将是对全社会、对我们的产业、对我们的企业对我们的金融投资，都是一个非常重要的导向性的作用。特别是在过去的这1年当中，中国已经成为在再生能源领域当中投资最为活跃的一个地区。据统计，去年全球2100多亿美元的可再生的投资当中，中国的市场大体吸引了500亿美元以上的这样一个投资。
And for the business community, the opportunities in sharing in green prosperity have never been more defined and lucrative than today. Now, in anyone's language, revenues drawn from the climate sector now represent a substantial segment of the global economy. According to HSBC research, the global climate economy, as measured by cumulative revenues, has hit a record high in 2010 of up to $567 billion US. The ongoing evolution of the climate economy will provide broad opportunities. However, the potential will not be reached without cooperation at the government, corporate, as well as the banking level.
One, actually, all the clean revolution companies, they value resource use, productivity, and sustainability. And definitely this has a big impact about the future business model.
The concept of the value attached to sustainability, green features, energy efficiency, whatever it may be, is certainly emerging much more as a mindset than it was, say, 5 years ago.
政府现在对内地的这个城市和政府发展特区来讲呢，转变观念，然后提高服务的效率，创造一个公平竞争的环境，我觉得可能比基础设施和那个其他的这个硬件环境的支持可能更重要。
We really need to address the financing issue. You have bankers who say, we actually would be like to invest, but we don't find projects. And you have lots of people who have projects and say, I don't find the financing. And I think there are 2 or 3 things which need to be fixed.
You know, we have to go beyond where we are now. We have to stop talking about, I can't make the change because it's not economic. That has to end. It's got to go beyond that.
If you check with the data by year 2000, the total GDP is 9 trillion RMB. In year 2005, it's 18 trillion. In year 2010, it's 40.3 trillion. What happened by 2015? According to our modeling calculations, there should be around 75 trillion. What does that mean? What's the investment should go? Go to the area which Professor Shi Dinghuan asked, renewable energy or other cleaner industry.
As we look at this low carbon future, we all know that technology and innovation and clean tech, words we hear all the time, are going to play a key part.
It's more about finding how things actually perform in the real world that gives people the confidence to go on and invest in them. So I think we have to look at holistic design frameworks and partnerships for designing cities, designing urban spaces that include technology but also include behavior.
That's a very important goal for us too, making it easy for people living in Malmö to live sustainably. Whatever you do, whatever decision you take, whatever you produce, make it efficient, use as little natural resources as you can. And that's the overall concept for our city actually.
We tried to learn, and what we learned was that the city planners and the business society must work much closer to each other already in the early planning stages for city development.
IT or ICT is now become a building material for the city. Once this is done, smart grid can be deployed. Smart energy-wise usage can be deployed.
我们今天讲节能减排，如果节能减排我们把它做成一种商业行为，我们不光节能减排了，而且还挣到了钱。
It's really speaking their language. So when you can go in and talk to a CFO, a CTO, and demonstrate not only are these products beneficial to minimizing carbon and footprint, but also benefiting the company on their bottom line, you demonstrate a return on investment, you demonstrate how this can really be engaging from your employee perspective. It hits a number of different variables that make it effective both at a business level and at the same time sustainability-wise.
Welcome back to the third plenary session, where we get to the subject that's been hovering through all the previous sessions, which is, yes, it's fine, but where does the money come from?
While generalized investment has been stable or slipping down, especially in the West, clean energy investment in renewables and other clean energy has grown very dramatically, whether that be venture capital or mainstream financing. And yet it's still not anywhere near the scale that is needed.
To this. Every institutional investor has some allocation to venture capital, which is why things like the traditional clean tech space, solar panels and wind turbines and the companies that make them sort of fit into that niche, and that's why you get some allocation going to that. But in the other stuff that broadly fits into the category called clean tech, it just hasn't, and it doesn't appeal to the traditional asset allocation model.
For example, the UK has just given £3 billion to set up the first state development bank focused on the green economy called the Green Investment Bank. One of the key things that new institution could do is to try and unlock that particular problem to make sure, to help facilitate the introduction of debt capital.
I think where the concerns arise is about seed capital for startup ventures. And I think, again, that's no different from any sector. Risk capital is and will be available for venture capital type operations. Again, they need to have a sound business model. They need to have a product or technology or business model that can attract capital, no different from any other sector.
Inventors and organizations have to find the materials and have to improve their efficiencies to bring it down to a level where it is environmentally, both financially and environmentally sustainable. So yes, of course, regulation does help, and regulation certainly helps to price proven technologies. But unproven technologies, no amount of regulation is going to help to start off with, because one has to prove whether it works or not.
The approach to determining to which projects and to which clients that capital is allocated is really no different, whether it's a project that could be considered to be sustainable or a business that could be considered to be a participant in the low carbon economy or not. Climate business and financing the low carbon economy. Now certainly within my institution, and I think this is generally the case with large financial institutions. It's very much gone mainstream.
I'm struck constantly when I read The Economist or the Financial Times that it's now a given that climate change is a factor for business. It's not a matter for discussion. So I guess that the next challenge is to see, again, how business leadership can take us forward.
I have to say, I think we all know need today what we need. That's the sort of, at least the consensus I feel actually through the discussion. We know actually there's a future we all want to have, much better than what we have today. And we all know actually the policy piece, the technology piece, financing piece, and the market piece there.
I think business leaders, or those who are leading in this sector, need to play a stronger role in pushing for that policy. As in all processes of change, it's the losers who scream louder than the winners. We need to see more noise from the potential winners about how to create the policy and drive that policy quicker.